There's a ton of content out there, and if you don't know where to start, it can be overwhelming, even paralyzing. So let's fix that. Welcome to Simply Cyber, a community of tens of thousands of aspiring and active cybersecurity professionals focused on networking, knowledge sharing, and professional development. I'm Dr. Gerald, Auger, Chief Content Creator at Simply Cyber, inviting you to get the answers to your cybersecurity problems with hundreds of cybersecurity videos answering your frequently asked questions, interviewing industry experts, and live streaming daily cyber threat briefings hosted by me. Now get the stories and insights you won't find anywhere else. Hit subscribe now and dig into all the fresh content on the channel and in the community. Nothing should stop you from launching and leveling up your cybersecurity career today. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is Monday, May 13th, 2024. This is episode number 620, I believe, of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next 45 minutes, hold on, I gotta confirm that this is, in fact, episode 620. It is confirmed. Episode 620 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Threat Brief. And we are going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. And over the next 45 minutes, me, you, Ms. Julian, not only IT, Kimberly from the couch, DJ Bisek from the car, Terry Stokes coming in hot with the Oprah, Raymond Cruz, hashtag Team SC over on LinkedIn, Cherise Lamb Blue Badgenet, Carrie's always up in this place, J.E. and Michelle, Malware Trini, Viper Neil, Pamela's back in the saddle again, Senful all up in here, Marcus Heiler and the Yeet Crew. Jenny Housley's back in the house. Let's go. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So most importantly, how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders? And if you're looking to break into the industry, settle in, my friend, because not only is this a supportive and inclusive community, but what we're going to be doing over the next hour, this right here, when you're going to be asked, and I guarantee you will be asked in any single cyber job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? How do you stay current on the industry? Tell me, how do you stay current on the industry? As far as industry goes, how do you stay current? Boom! Mic drop. Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Simple as that. We're in here. We're doing it. You're going to stay current. You show up every day on the regular. You're going to start seeing trends. You're going to start seeing kind of macro vibes going on. And trust me, you're going to love it. On top of that, the networking is chef's kiss, top-notch level. Augusta Delgado, Laura Flores, Gil, Jason Garcia, Tom Bishop on the boot. I mean, come on, guys. Kuda Chimera, Marcus Kyler, George Strasburger. Like, need I go on with all the epic people in here? Priceless Pancake, Jazzy Jazz, Saki Disease. Guys, we're crushing it every single day, and I'm super pumped about it. Now, before I get into the news, before I take another slug off this delicious cup of coffee, I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors who enable me to get up every single weekday morning and just scream into this microphone all the things I'm excited about, starting with Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions, you know what they know how to do? Cobra Crown, you know what Barricade Cyber knows how to do? They know how to yeet threat actors out the environment. They know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. As always, now don't sleep on our other wonderful sponsor, Antisyphon Training. Guys, Antisyphon Training, the training arm of Black Hills InfoSec, is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. And they offer their students the opportunity to learn skills, practice what is taught, and engage in a fun way. And right now, it's too late to register, but if you are in the Active Defense and Cyber Deception course that starts today in just a few hours at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I believe is when it starts, let us know in chat. Let us know in chat if you are going to be in the Active Defense and Cyber Deception course later today. And if you are, guys, I love it. I love it. When I see like a Simply Cyber roll call in other live streams, webinars, trainings. So if you're going to be there, high five each other. And, trust me, you're going to love it. Also, if you didn't know, SOC Core Skills with John Strand is actually next week. Again, this is a course you can take for $0 from a SANS level instructor. Don't sleep on these opportunities, guys. I'm not up here just yelling about them for fun. This is opportunity. So take advantage of it, all right? Antisyphontraining.com. Flakinator is going to be in the class. Flakinator, you're going to love it. Alpha Sierra is going to be there. Maria Nall is going to be there. It's so awesome. Good stuff. Jane Michelle will be in the SOC Core Skills next week. All right, guys, just say what's up. I mean, obviously, hashtag Team SC is the low-key way that we do raids in other people's streams, but it's all about good times. Guys, I don't prep or research any of the stories that we're doing. Again, we're still kicking it with this new AI workflow. I haven't automated it, but based on the feedback of the voice last week, I have tried a new voice today, so we can talk about that. All right. All right, guys. Hey, I don't research any of the stories, but I do pick them. Me and the mod team do select the stories, so get ready for that. I think it's going to be great. Remember, each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. Oh, yeah, Space Tacos. So every episode's worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat, hashtag Team SC. If you'd like, grab a screenshot. The TLDR here is make sure that you record that you're here, and then once a year, count how many times you were here and divide it by 2. And that is how many CPEs you got. Oh, yeah. Oh, Kimberly, you missed. So, Kimberly, if you were at RSA last week, you missed. This isn't like a FOMO thing. I'm just catching everybody up. So, last week, we started doing something new. So, if you, first of all, if you're a regular here, hashtag Team SC, thanks for coming back. If it's your first episode, if episode 620 is your first episode, please drop a hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special sound effect. Welcome to the party, pal. We have a special sound effect and a special emote for you. Second of all, we have a special brand new sound effect for when infographics show up on stream. Oh my God. Oh, so good. And you will enjoy that. I promise you, the infographic sounder is very nice. And finally, we as a Simply Cyber mod team and as a community have decided to give a shot at curating our own stories. Now, we've been talking about this for about 6 months, and I finally got the bandwidth to do it, and we're curating our own stories. We're pushing it through ChatGPT and 11 Labs. I made some custom GPTs. It doesn't matter how the sausage is made. Just know that you can go on Spotify right now. You can go on Spotify right now and literally get, this is it right here, okay? You can see May 13th, May 10th, May 9th. So I'm still kind of sorting it out, but this is what's going to be driving the audio for us. And we had a great voice. Callum was last Friday's voice, but we got a little pushback in the community, so we're going to try Paul. Today is Paul, all right? All right, I see some first-timers in chat. Mr. Simbin, welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Yes, Phil Stafford. I actually don't exist. I don't exist. Mr. Simbin getting the first-timer love. Come on, welcome to the party, pal. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome to the party, all right, guys. So I loved Callum, Phil Stafford. I mean, here's the thing. I am just one vote in the I'm just one vote in the community, so I'm willing to see other people. So Brian Bates, what you're asking for an RSS feed of the audio, I will get there, Brian Bates, but if you look on stream right now, if you were to go to the actual podcast for today, I basically just put all the URLs that we're going to be covering it right here. So the podcast description is just a collection of URLs. That's the best I can do right now for conveying this. I need it, like, basically, I did this morning. It took me about 25 minutes to go from idea to it pushed to Spotify fully rendered. So that is where I'm focused right now, is automating all of that piece, and then I'll start throwing in the nice haves. All right. Chelsea Ray Waterhouse, the Spotify podcast, is it separate from the SC one? Yes, absolutely. So really quickly, Chelsea Ray Waterhouse, you'll notice that this podcast is 7 minutes and 57 seconds. This is just the news part. The Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief, that's the full hour with my commentary and my hot takes or whatever you want to call it. So there's basically Simply Cyber now has 2 news podcasts. One is just the news stories, and then the other is the long form with my my inputs. All right. So let's do it, y'all. Hey, all right. So let me introduce you to Paul. Paul's our AI reporter of the day. Whew. All right. So do me a favor. Sit back, relax. Mr. Simbin, as a first timer, I hope you enjoy it. Let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I will see you guys at the mid-roll.
From Simply Cyber, this is today's cyber news, served piping hot and wicked fast. Let's get into it.
Researchers expose LLMjacking, a novel scheme exploiting cloud-hosted AI. Cybersecurity experts from SysDig have identified a new cyber attack method termed LLMjacking, where attackers utilize stolen cloud credentials to infiltrate and exploit large language models, LLMs, hosted on cloud services, subsequently selling unauthorized access. The attackers strategically breach systems, notably via outdated Laravel framework vulnerabilities, to snatch AWS credentials. This facilitates unauthorized entry into cloud environments where LLMs operate, such as Anthropic's Claude models. This method diverges from conventional attacks by aiming to monetize access to these models while evading detection and potentially accruing substantial unauthorized charges for the victims.
All right. So that is the voice of Paul. Some people are saying in chat, BSEC, that they could be Casey Kasem. We'll see, guys. I think we'll see. Really quickly, I do see an infographic just to kind of warm people up to the new infographic. Oh my God, this infographic. All right, so guys, so basically, we'll talk about the AI voices during jaw jack, and we can have a little debrief. So basically, LLMjacking scheme, like, again, AI is so hot, right, that even when there's like a kind of a fringe attack associated with it, it gets front page news. Here's the deal. All this is selling access to a resource. It doesn't matter that it's AI or whatever. Here's the deal. If you didn't know, running LLMs, like the actual training models and stuff, takes massive compute power. So that's why, like, not everybody's spinning them up all over the place. And it's like more larger businesses that have access to massive cloud infrastructure, like Google and Microsoft and Amazon. Or, well, I mean, for the most part, that's what's up. I mean, you see some other ones, but the LLM models are actually smaller because they have less compute power. So what security or threat actors who are enterprising have discovered is if they can steal credentials to a cloud service provider of a developer and then access that backend LLM, you can run your own queries, you can run your own compute, etc., and basically someone else pays the bill. This is the essential. I mean, I guess the term jacking is really appropriate here. So really quickly, most people call it crypto jacking is like a really popular attack, but the concept of jacking just means that you're using somebody else's resources that they pay for that you're taking all the advantage of. That's what jacking is in the context of cybersecurity. So all LLM jacking is basically running, like making someone else pay your bills, essentially, okay? I do find it interesting that this is an attack vector, pretty enterprising, because you're already, here's my thing, you're already stealing the credentials and getting access to the cloud infrastructure. To me, I find it very interesting that those threat actors wouldn't just turn around and then kind of exfil data, sensitive models, and potentially, I guess ransomware, although because it's in the cloud, they probably have the ability to like quickly destroy and then redeploy, like kind of in a CI/CD pipeline DevOps way. So maybe ransomware doesn't work there, but I wouldn't think there's money in this. But apparently, you could, like, someone got hit with a bill. It says in here $46,000. So I mean, that's real money. So I guess all I would say here is if you are working in a company, big tech company, some type of company that is a security product vendor, or you don't even have to really be a security product vendor, although if you're here, chances are you are related to security somehow. Just be mindful that there's an uptick in activity. So there's a likelihood increase if you're doing the risk calculation of this happening, and that you need to do a couple things. One, you should absolutely have best practices for like zero trust, right? So multi-factor authentication or certificates for authentication into environments. You should expire tokens, all the best practices with access control, but just know that this is happening.
Critical vulnerabilities found in Centurion cellular modems, impacting multiple sectors. A series of significant security flaws in Centurion cellular modems have been revealed, posing threats to communication networks and Internet of Things (IoT) devices across various sectors, including industrial, healthcare, and telecommunications. According to cybersecurity firm Kaspersky, these vulnerabilities could allow threat actors to execute code remotely and escalate privileges without authorization. The most critical flaw, identified as CVE 2023-47610 with a CVSS score of 8.1, enables attackers to remotely execute arbitrary code via SMS.
That's pretty cool.
All
right, so I mean, this is a pretty cool attack. This is a pretty cool attack in the first place. Secondly, Kimberly, that was supposed to be a link to the overall podcast, not the specific days podcast, just FYI. So here's the deal. I selected this story because we don't actually see a lot of cellular modems, hooking into IoT infrastructure. At least I don't see it very often. When we talk about SMS text message attacks, we typically think of like Pegasus software, where I send, or a threat actor sends a custom text message, and then Joel Harrison gets pwned, right? Good morning, Stephen H. So, like, basically that's what we typically do. But if you think of like infrastructure, like think of the pipeline, the Colonial Pipeline, right? For example, running down the eastern seaboard. It's out in the elements, it's exposed. Think of like a power substation that's like just out in like a rural community. You're not going to have a human sitting at that place, right? What you're going to have are sensors that are, sensing different types of telemetry and then communicating back to some kind of mothership or some type of home base for a managed console to look at. Okay, so we all agree that that's the normal process. What they're saying here is that those devices, specifically the Centurion cellular modem, has a flaw, or several flaws, where you can text message it and basically cause a buffer overflow. So again, it is a custom, built text message, but the way that the technology ingests it or parses it or processes it causes it to fail. Again, I bet you anything with this particular cell modem, you can't necessarily stop from getting the text message, okay? It's a cellular modem, which means it has a phone number, which means it's ready to receive, and you can't stop it. Now, once you get pwned, I don't even know if you'd have visibility into whether or not it's getting owned. So, having said all of that, if you are working in a business that does have OT, IT, and I'm really thinking of like businesses that have technology that's deployed where there's no humans, right? So like imagine like a unmanned oil rig or for our transportation and logistics people, maybe it's like a port. Like there's obviously humans running around ports, but there's a lot of technology at ports that are just kind of like automated, and we depend on sensors to push telemetry. Ask Justin Gold, aka JMod, about collecting telemetry from sensors, right? That he's been living that life a lot lately. Okay, so long story short, you can't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop. You can't stop it, right? So what you need to do is you got to patch it. You got to patch it. You got to patch it. But here's the problem. Again, this is not an easy problem to solve. Let's say you have 1,000 of these modems deployed along the, what is that pipeline up in Alaska? Hold on. I think it begins with a D. Pipeline, Alaska. Let's see. No, it's not the Trans-Alaska. I mean, they say Trans-Alaska Pipeline, but I think it's Dalton Highway. Is it the Dalton Highway? I'm sorry to digress here. I think it's the Dalton Highway. Yes, sir. Dalton Highway. Exactly. So look at this thing. Okay. The Dalton Highway, it runs parallel to the Transatlantic Pipeline. You see this like on the right is your Transatlantic Pipeline, and on the left is this like dirt highway thing, and it runs pretty far. This is north of Brooks Range out in Alaska. My point is, you see this pipeline? If there's any problems with that pipeline, we need to know right away. So they have sensors all down these things. Now, fast forward. If you are going to go update all of these cellular modems, you may have to go touch them, right? You may not be able to push an update remotely because it's like older tech. So what I'm saying is, it's not always like, you gotta patch it. It's not always just patch it and go get tacos on Friday afternoon with like one magic easy button. You might have to deploy field engineers to go to each of these places, which is bananas. So don't sleep on this, and just realize this is a good one for a job interview where you're talking about the complexities of vulnerability management. This is kind of a technology a lot of people don't talk about, and it's deployed in a way that's very challenging.
Basta ransomware targets over 500 entities, impacting critical infrastructure. The Black Basta ransomware group has attacked over 500 organizations across critical sectors in North America, Europe, and Australia since its emergence in April 2022, according to a recent advisory by CISA, FBI, HHS, and MS-ISAC. Employing techniques such as phishing and exploiting vulnerabilities, Black Basta executes a double extortion strategy by encrypting data and threatening to release it unless a ransom is paid. Unlike typical ransomware operations, Black Basta's notes do not specify a ransom amount up front, but instead instruct victims to make contact via a secure link.
All right. So with the implosion, with the implosion of Lockbit up, yes, sir. With the exit of Black Cat Alfie, there is a vacuum for a top tier threat actor to take the crown, if you will, of most prolific current ransomware threat actor. And Black Basta has entered the chat. So Black Basta, 500 entities. That's a pretty good number. Straight, just ransomware and people all up in the place. They say that it was, they share ties with Fin7. Fin7, if you don't remember, I get Fin7 and Fin11 confused a little bit, but the Fin stands for financial. Before ransomware became the crime du jour, actually stealing banking credentials via like info like ZooSpot and a couple other ones was like really popular. Like people would steal your banking credentials and then rob you. Like very, very, if this, then that. Then ransomware came on the scene and these threat actors pivoted because you could make more money. So what I'm trying to tell you is these threat actors, Black Basta, they've been around a while. They are professional criminals, right? They're like, I don't know how else to put it. They're not jacking around. Okay. One interesting thing to note, again, you could whip this out of out in a job interview, because I've never heard of another business doing this, or business. I've never heard of another cyber ransomware threat actor doing this. They don't include the initial ransom amount in the ransom letter. Typically, that's what, it's like, hey, like, we have your data. You need to pay us X amount of money. Here's how you get a crypto wallet. Here's how you can call help desk for support if you need help, working through this transaction of being robbed. Seriously, they have call centers. So this one, they don't put that number, which is interesting because I think what they want to do is maximize their revenue by figuring out who they got, right? Because here's the deal. Like, if I say, pay us 1 Bitcoin and you're a Fortune 50 company, well, I've really shot myself in the foot there, haven't I? But if you're a mom and pop shop, 30 Bitcoin, you're just not even going to entertain the ransom. You can see here, according to Kaspersky, Black Basta's the 12th most active ransomware family. I find that wild. Who's number 1? So Lockbit and Alfie. I'm looking at an infographic here. All right, I'm looking at an infographic. Lockbit, Alfie, running the show, obviously. Okay, so Clop ransomware is number 3, but let's be honest. Clop ransomware, they shot their shot with the Move It vulnerability, right? So that this is like an anomaly. Clop's not out here working. They basically hit a lottery ticket. Now Play's interesting, and then beyond Leon, I would really be curious. Eric Taylor, SecOps people. I'm not familiar with Beyond Lin. That's the first time I've heard about them. And then 8base and Akira, they're up in here. So if you put a gun to my head, I would not have said Block Basta was that far down the food chain, but there you go. There you go.
RSAC 2024 ignites with debut of cutting-edge cybersecurity tools. The RSA Conference 2024 kicked off in San Francisco, showcasing an impressive lineup of new cybersecurity products from leading companies like Cisco, Splunk, Google Cloud, and IBM. A standout theme this year is the continued integration of generative AI, Gen AI, in cybersecurity solutions, marking it a central topic for the second consecutive year at RSAC. Among the highlights, Recorded Future introduced new Gen AI capabilities, enhancing their threat intelligence services. Cisco has also made waves by integrating its XDR platform with Splunk's SIEM technology, a move following their recent acquisition of Splunk for $28 billion. Zurings.
Whoa.
And now it's time.
Jesus. Paul, our AI guy, just like choked up on himself. All right, RSA, if you were there, you know what's going on. Kimberly Can Fix It was there. Phil Stafford was up in the space. Jack Scott spoke. So, hey, if you had RSA is actually an acronym of the 3 authors of the RSA encryption algorithm, Rivis, Shamir, and the A guy. Let me see. Rivis, Shamir, and Adelman. Like, when we say RSA, that's what that is. And it's just 3. Actually, there's like a really famous picture of them. It's black and white. It's like as baller as it gets for like crypto people. Oh wait, of course it doesn't show up. Whatever. So that's what it is. Okay, so no surprise, guys. AI is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Right? So every major player is jamming AI into everything, right? We've got Google Threat Intelligence doing automated stuff. We've got Cisco Hypershield. They were on the show not too long ago talking about AI in all your SecOps, XDR for the win. Splunk got acquired by Cisco, so it's kind of funny that they even have as a separate thing because basically Splunk goes into Hypershield. Recorded Future, big fan of Recorded Future. 2 of my two of my friends who also have PhDs in cyber ops from Dakota State University both work at Recorded Future in their malware analysis department. And they say the greatest things about Recorded Future as a company. So I'm on board with them. Okay, IBM kind of creeping in here with their X-Force Red stuff. I never even heard. Like Code 42, is this the Palo Alto stuff? So Palo Alto has something called Unit 42. So I'm guessing it's somewhat related. And then finally, Cranium AI. So now we're getting into like lower tier vendors I've never heard of. Here's the deal. AI. You should have known it was AI, right? Like obviously. So you got to remember, you got to separate the hype from the reality. If you're going to do any AI stuff,
shall we play a game?
I'm not going to go too deep on this. I didn't hear any blockbuster updates out of RSA. In my experience, I've never heard of a blockbuster update coming out of RSA. RSA is like vendors, like it's vendor central basically. So it is what it is. We knew exactly what RSA was going to be this year. It's going to be the same thing at Black Hat. It's going to be AI all over the place at Black Hat. All I would say is two things. One, you can work this into a job interview. You should be trying to get in front of AI as far as policy and kind of philosophical positioning of how it will be utilized, because workforce wants to use it. Workforce is using it. Workforce is all up in AI's business. So you have an opportunity to get in front of it and say, this is okay, this is not okay, these are the reasons. If you stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, AI is just going to continue operating, and then you're in the Wild West where, hey, no one said we couldn't do anything, so let's boogie, baby. So, Ric Flair's coming for you. So just be mindful of that. I think I'm a huge advocate of having a chief AI officer. I think AI is so big that it cannot be another responsibility of the CIO. It needs to be its own independent function, especially at larger businesses. Okay, so that's what's up with that. Becky Gaylord's in the house. Yes, Becky. Becky, let me know. Hey, Becky, I know we had talked offline about that opportunity. I actually spoke to that person. You know that person actually quite well. You were actually in person with that person not too long ago, and that person will be connecting with you and closing the loop on all those things. All right, let's go.
For the mid-roll, Jerry, drop that sweet Simply Cyber Breakfast Club beat.
Yes, I will. All right, guys. All right, guys. I hope you're having a great show. I hope you're having a great experience. Mr. Simbin, I hope you're enjoying your first episode. Guys, if you're getting value from the stream, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. It goes a long way to helping other people discover the show. It's as simple as that. We're having a fun time up here, but it is work. Just because it's work doesn't mean it has to suck, right? We can enjoy our work, and that's what we're trying to do up here. So thank you all so very much. Well, hold on. So with Nightbot, you can only shut it off or turn it on. I could get rid of that auto message. So anyways, guys, shout out again to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Antisyphon. Some of you may know that Delete Me sponsored. Basically, Delete Me is going to sponsor every other week. But because of ease, I'm just going to leave it on the promo card because I don't want to have to remember which card to use, okay? Hey, Jess Bishop's in the house. Love me some Jess Bishop. Good morning, Jess. All right, guys. Hey, Simply Cyber Community Challenge. I don't even know who has the baton right now. We kind of had some slip-ups with the baton last week. But if you have the baton right now, do me a favor, raise your hand. If you would like the baton, raise your hand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, listen. The Simply Cyber community has developed an opportunity for all of you to blow up your professional network really easily, okay? Jenny Housley, Mod Love, Jenny, when you see what we did with the Simply Cyber Community Challenge last week, you're probably going to be horrified. We did the best we could, but we're not Jenny Housley. Like, the quality suffered a little bit in your absence, in full disclosure. All right, so check it out. Yes, Trixa Horner. Love it, love it, love it. All right, hey, so check it out, guys. Here's an opportunity to blow up your professional network. Go on LinkedIn, search for the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge, and then connect with the people who are posting with that hashtag. That's what we're doing here. We've appropriated the hashtag. We've weaponized LinkedIn for our own benefit of networking. Your LinkedIn feed will be all cyber stuff, and your connections will be supportive and inclusive. Cesar Munoz Gutierrez, FedEx, can you tag Cesar Munoz Gutierrez with the baton? FedEx, please pass it. All right, guys. Hey, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays is Simply Cyber community member shout out or feature. Guys, so many people in the Simply Cyber community are doing amazing things, and I just like to spend a little time letting you know about them. Guys, you may or may not know Chris Whitlock. This is Chris Whitlock. Chris Whitlock is he's a dynamite contributor to the Simply Cyber community. And the one thing I also wanted to share is that he has stood up the GRC study hall every single Wednesday. You can see here, I'm looking at the stream. Every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., he is live streaming and helping people learn GRC. So don't sleep on that. Let's do our la 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 la's. All right. Thank you so much, Chris Whitlock, for being great. Thank you, all of you, for being awesome community members. Let's go. CyberCycle mods. CyberCycle wants to know where the baton process is. It's really not complicated. But let's get back into the news, and then we'll finish strong with jaw jacking.
Club beat.
Human error remains a major factor in cyber incidents, Kaspersky reports. Kaspersky's latest Managed Detection and Response, MDR analyst report, reveals that human errors are still a predominant cause of cyber incidents, with more than 2 critical incidents involving direct human involvement reported daily last year. The government sector experienced the highest impact, with 22.9% of all high-severity incidents, followed closely by IT, financial, and industrial sectors. Despite a slight decrease in malware-driven high-severity incidents, the threat landscape remains concerning due to the increasing number of medium and low-severity incidents.
All right. So they're saying here, human-related error. It says leading cause of cyber attacks, but then they talk about in here, 1 in 5. Oh, so the metrics on this story are all jacked up. It's like 1 in 5 were miscalculated. Like, tell me, here's my thing. This pisses me. Sorry, Kennedy. Here's something that annoys me. Human error leading cause of cyber incident. Okay, I want percentages. Show me, like, it's got to be the highest number, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be over 50%, but no other, type of cause can be greater than human. But I want to know the number, because is it 12%? Is it 95%? Because the reason I'm like losing my mind about this is because how am I, as a GRC professional, supposed to know like how much emphasis I need to put on addressing this risk, right? This is like basically what we're talking about right now is threat modeling. When you're going to choose, okay, let's go down the GRC hole for a second, okay? Alana Boyajian riding shotgun with me on the GRC wagon train here. Here's the deal. As a GRC professional. It's the person who's like building the program on how we're going to protect and reduce risk and all these other things. I only have so much money, right? I'm given like, say, I'm given like $100,000. Okay. Sounds like a lot. It's not, right? So I'm given $100,000 and they're like, make this reduce as much risk as possible. That's the goal, right? So I'm going to be ridiculous here, but I could go buy a 100,000 DLP solution and slap it in and be like, I spent the whole $100,000. And what I've done is not really driven down risk because DLP, there's bigger risks, right? DLP is not going to stop ransomware from hitting you in the face, okay? So check it out. As a GRC professional, what I need to do is threat model, figure out where my biggest risks are, highest likelihood, highest impact, go into the top right dark red of this risk quadrant. And that is where I need to live and figure out like, oh, geez, ransomware is the top threat. Let's invest in immutable backups. Let's invest in tabletop exercises. Let's invest in cyber resiliency because I'm going to get the most value for my money, right? Return on investment. It's basic. It's basic. Again, I don't know why I'm losing my mind on this story, but human error, leading cause. I need to know, is it 10% of the time or is it 90%? Because I need to know how to allocate resources properly in the absence of data. It's just like a salacious headline. I can't use this, bro. It's the inversion of like, if this had numbers, but it doesn't have numbers. So it's straight up, yeah, there we go. All right. Anyways, thank you for coming to my like lose your mind TED talk really quickly on that one. Having said that though, this does warrant a little bit more investigation. Obviously I would want to know what type of human errors, etc. But this right here, this is Carl all day long. Human errors, misconfiguration, pushing patches without testing, no configuration management, crappy passwords, not requiring MFA as a program holistically, and then having someone get popped, falling for phishing emails, plugging USB drives into systems that you shouldn't, so on and so forth. Taking paperwork home, leaving your laptop in an Uber. Okay, like I can go on. These are all human errors. Fine, I get it. What we don't do in our industry is, I mean, the Carl sounder is kind of mocking Carl, but we don't turn around and say, you are so dumb, right?
You are so dumb.
We don't say that. What we say is, how can I help you, like, basically make better decisions, right? There's a reason, okay, that this is almost not even fair to compare them to toddlers, but there's a reason that when you put a small child, like a 1.5, 2-year-old, into those like mobile tray things where like they sit in it, they got a whole tray around them and they can move their little legs and kind of skirt around, but they can't fall out, right? They can't get upside down. They can't tip it. They're basically protected. They have full freedom to scoot around the house and to reach and grab things and to bang things on the tray. But in reality, they're completely controlled, right? They're confined. So help me help you by allowing me to understand where you're making the mistakes. And then I just nerf them all. And now you have freedom to do your job. But in reality, you can't hurt yourself, right? It's like giving someone a rubber knife. Like, yeah, you got a knife now. Oh, look at this guy running around with a knife, but he's not going to cut himself. All right, that's what's up.
Rise in cyber threats against remote desktop tools amid hybrid work era. As hybrid work becomes the norm, remote desktop tools, crucial for business operations, are facing an increasing number of cyber threats, according to new research. Jonathan Tanner, a senior security researcher at Barracuda Networks, points out that the most targeted remote desktop technology over the past year has been virtual network computing, VNC. VNC accounts for 98% of malicious traffic aimed at remote desktop-specific ports, primarily because it often uses HTTP ports that don't require robust authentication, making them easier targets for cyber attacks.
All right, here we go. My throat's a little dry. I had a long weekend. All right, so check it out. Remote desktop tools, major attack vector. Again, this is, I guess today's GRC day. This is a perfect example where it's like, all right, onslaught of cyber threats, attacks are happening. A lot of workforce has moved remotely. So there's going to be an uptick in opportunity for these type of attacks. So as a cyber professional, obviously, I'm not going to tell the business that they can't have remote access. Okay, that would be the dumbest thing. You would immediately lose all credibility. Okay, they'd just be like the James Harden eye roll. Like, oh my god, like bro, like are you kidding me? No, like go somewhere else with your nerd speak, Jerry, because we're not getting rid of remote access. So this is one of those ones where we need to enable the business to do things securely. So what are the approved remote access solutions? How are they controlled? What controls are in place? Like, is multi-factor authentication required for these things? Do you, do you have like really strong complexity requirements on the password, et cetera, things like that. But just remember, because it's remote access, the connections can come from anywhere in the world. Now, if you wanted to, you could go next level and say like, all right, only US-based IP addresses. Doesn't mean a threat actor can't VPN in and then, attack like that. But I mean, it does raise the bar a little bit. So if you're just getting like hit from Cambodia, Vietnam, et cetera, whatever, you're elevating the bar. But what you really should be mindful of is not allowing staff. And I'm looking at IT people too. So IT Carl, like not to just go YOLO and stand up their own remote access things, right? Like use a approved controlled solution, explain the risk, right? Dude, LastPass, they got pwned because somebody, basically, the remote access got through. Now the threat actor went through that developer's machine. My point is, even if you do it right, there is residual risk. So you got to be mindful of that. But there's so many attacks that are just lazy. There was a remote access solution. Someone popped right through, crappy password, boom, I'm operating with your credentials on your inside network. Unfortunately, in 2024, we actually still have the problem where zero trust architecture, everybody loves themselves some zero trust architecture, right? Get the t-shirts made, I heart zero trust. But zero trust is only being applied, and I'm being hyperbolic, but zero trust is being applied in the cloud on external infrastructure. When you VPN into an internal network, or you remote into an internal network, or you Citrix into a remote network, once you get in there, then it's like, hey, everybody, let's go. Like it's not zero trust inside the local network. And that's a bit of a shortcoming. Network segmentation is not being done very often or very well. Think of it as an M&M. Okay, M&M's hard candy shell, soft gooey inside. That's what's going on, right? You need hard candy. You need it more like a jawbreaker on the internal network, right? So, anyways, TLDR, we got an increase in activity, so your likelihood calculation should go up. Scan your own network for VNC. See if it's. They literally call out VNC and Microsoft RDP in here. Final thing I'll say. We have many solutions for remote administration of systems. You should never be using Microsoft RDP to have like a server on the internet for you to remote into. That is like 1995 IT administration. And even then it was a bad idea, but you can't be doing that. That's no good.
Massive data breach at Dell. 49 million customer records stolen. In a significant security breach, Dell has begun notifying customers that their personal data, including customer order data and warranty information, was stolen through the abuse of a partner portal API. The breach, orchestrated by a threat actor known as Menelik. Using a custom program to generate service tags, Menelik scraped 49 million customer records over a 3-week period by submitting high volumes of requests, benefiting from the portal's absence of rate limiting. The stolen data includes details on various Dell products, ranging from monitors to desktops and notebooks. Despite the scale of the breach, it was only after the data had been extracted that Menelik contacted Dell to report the vulnerability.
That was nice. So threat actor. So we reported on this last Friday. This is an update. Essentially, this Dell customer portal did allow for API calling. And here's the problem. They weren't observing the request frequency or, demand, basically. It's called throttling. Basically, imagine, you see like an uptick, like almost like a denial of service attack. Like you see this massive query over and over again, and you're like, whoa, that isn't right. Like let's limit the amount that you're able to pull IP address or program or whatever. Dell didn't do that. So again, this is one of those ones where IT does their job, the web app dev team does their job. Hey, if you make a query, the request comes back with the data you asked for. Thumbs up, everything's showing green light, let's go. And then security didn't come back through and say, well, how could this be weaponized? How could this be abused? Oh, is there any legitimate use case where throttling would actually be a problem? No. All right, well then let's put throttling in. Done. What this dude did was he basically, it's funny because it's not even really like, he didn't really exploit anything, but he made a legitimate query to the API at the Dell website over and over again and enumerated 49 million people's data. That's all he did, right? He used the functionality that was built into the platform, the way it was designed, and he just queried it. And then after he exfilled all the data, compliments of this API, he then contacted Dell to let them know that he had, in fact, basically put them on like a pair of pants and walked around. Final thing I'll say, we covered this the other day. Like, there's just going to be an uptick in potential phishing, right? One, I haven't said this in a while, but it is worth noting. Come on, I want to zoom in on this. Why can't I zoom in? Oh, I'm at max zoom. This right here, do you see this like anime avatar, persona avatar for this threat actor, Melanik? If you use this is legit, right? Like, I don't know why, whatever, but like when you see that anime avatar character, I know anyone can do it, right? Like anyone can right click and make it your avatar. But like when you do that one, like you're legit. It's legit. Okay, so instant credibility with this guy. So Jenny Housley's offering up that with warranty data, threat actors would know that a desktop a person's running, so that could be an area to exploit. Yes, technically, the information could be used to understand what version firmware, like the motherboard's running, if it's running like UEFI. If it maybe what operating system, but people could upgrade the operating system independent of what it was when it was deployed initially. For me, I think that the attack vector here is less at the individual and more kind of at the business. I could see business email compromise attacks coming in, pretending to be Dell around, like, oh, we've got, whatever, some type of like annual maintenance plan, please pay or whatever. And here's a list of like legitimate machines in your environment if you wanted to check, just to give a little bit more like authority and social proof that it is in fact a legitimate invoice from Dell or from, whatever third-party service provider.
Proton Mail shares user data with law enforcement amid privacy concerns. Proton Mail, known for its end-to-end encrypted email service, has faced criticism for sharing user information with law enforcement, this time involving a case with Spanish police. According to reports, Proton provided the recovery email address of a suspect allegedly supporting Catalonian separatists, which led to their identification via Apple. This instance marks another controversial data handover by Proton, which previously removed claims of not tracking user IP addresses from its website after similar incidents. Despite emphasizing its commitment to privacy, Proton maintains that it cannot offer complete anonymity, citing legal obligations under Swiss anti-terrorism laws. This situation highlights the ongoing tension between encrypted services and law enforcement access.
Regulators! Mount up!
All right, so here's the deal. Proton Mail, Proton VPN, which I like, I use. If law enforcement contacts them, they will disclose the information that they have. Now, it's worth noting that Proton does record or capture as little information as they can, right? So they don't hoard data. But dude, when law enforcement contacts you as a business, you have to comply with the request. Now, I do want to point out there are limits, right? Remember, the FBI reached out to Apple a couple years ago and wanted Apple to engineer a backdoor into their product. That's a much different request than hand over your logs for a known criminal. Now, Proton is known for its privacy, but Proton doesn't state that you're completely anonymous. Obviously, if privacy is important to you, if anonymity online is important to you, then you need to have layers of privacy and anonymity, right? Like, which has a trade-off, right? You have slower bandwidth, more challenging. It's kind of hard to have something mailed to your house if you don't want people to know where you live, et cetera, right? So here's the slippery slope with this. Now, you might say, and by the way, I'm going to get a little tinfoil hat on this. It's the last story, a couple minutes before the top of the hour. So I'm going to get a little tinfoil hat. And for those who are new here, first timers, if I go off the reservation, I basically the tinfoil hat emote is an asterisk. I appreciate what they're doing, and I could see for good reasons why law enforcement would do that, right? If there's a terror attack or planning, guys, there's been likely countless horrible events that have never happened because the watchers are watching and, they intervened before bad happened, right? 9/11 is an example where that didn't happen, right? Not good knowledge share or data sharing going on. But I'm sure there's been incidents at major events like Olympics or whatever, where the NSA just showed up and paid somebody a visit or wherever. Okay. Now, here's what I want to say about this. The examples that they provide in the story is a climate activist person got lit up in the Catalona region in Spain. And again, I might be getting this wrong, but it's like the Catalina wine mixer. Okay. The Catalona region, a separatist, political faction got brought up and rung up or whatever. Remember, 2 years ago, it was discovered that the ruling party in Spain or whatever, right? It's either Spain or in that region of Spain, got caught using Pegasus spyware on their political rivals. Pegasus spyware is a very invasive spying technology that allows you to read text messages, pictures, eavesdrop on conversations, GPS, et cetera, right? So there's obviously abuse going on. And that's all I want to point out here is you might think law enforcement is righteous, but it really is in the hands of the people in power who decide how to deploy those resources, right? So when you drop law enforcement and say, hey, go grab this information from Proton, we got to figure out who these people are. Yeah, they could be bad guys, but they also could just be have a different philosophy, have a different opinion, could be challenging the status quo of whoever's in power. And this is where authoritative regimes become dangerous because they weaponize law enforcement. Again, tinfoil hat, I'm not saying that's what the French people are doing or the Spanish people or the Swiss people. I'm just saying, think holistically in larger picture, right? So anyways, I'll still use Proton, right? I like Proton in general. I like Proton. Here's the deal. If you really want to get serious, you either have to stand up your own infrastructure and manage it, right? You could stand up your own VPN, use an open VPN. You could stand up your own mail server. You could do all these things. But it's time, energy, and effort. Let's go.
That does it for the daily cyber threat brief. Like Montel Jordan says, this is how we do it.
That's right.
Take it away, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you. I will take it away. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's stream. We are going to be jumping on a jaw jacking. Hold on one second. Jaw jacking. So the daily cyber threat brief show has concluded. I hope you got value from the stream. Hit the like button on your way out. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Not before Rex Cognitos drops a 10 membership. Thank you, Rex, for the 10 memberships. And for the
just become best friends. Yep.
For the Carries, the Isaiah Morrises, the Crinkles, Scott B. Enjoy that. Ton Mahone. Welcome to the squad, my friends. All right, guys. Hey, if you want to stick around, if you got to go, I get it. People have meetings. People have work. People got to get the kiddos to school. If you want to hang out, we're going to be doing 30 minutes of jaw jacking, which is basically a hangout. Ask me anything. I will help. I will answer as many cybersecurity questions, career questions, industry questions, whatever that you like. And otherwise, we're going to just kick it. Let's spend a few minutes talking about the new show format, AI, etc. But until then, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I'll see you tomorrow at, I'm Dr. Gerald Auger from Simply Cyber. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. But now let's go get Jerry Guy up in here. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Jaw Jacking. I am your host, Jerry Guy, coming hot off the heels from that nerd show, Dr. Gerald Auger, nerd. All right. In all seriousness, guys, we're kicking it. AMA, as I just lined up. Cyber Hamburglar coming out the gates hot with a question. Can you have the bot quote Casey Kasem, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars? We could certainly do that. So what'd you guys think? The guy's voice was Paul. I'll start a poll right now. All right, so we did Callum. We did Callum the other day, and Callum got a 70% like rating. Oh no. Jenny Housley's dropping pictures in chat from Buc-ee's. Oh my God, Buc-ee's PTSD, so hardcore. I will be going to Buc-ee's in a few weeks, by the way. It's been preordained. My family has requested we go to Buc-ee's in mid-June. I might real-time stream me at Buc-ee's. It is, oh my gosh. All right, Andy McPherson likes the new one. Yeah, exactly. They verbally assault you when you walk in. Welcome to Buc-ee's! All right, so hey, people are enjoying Paul. Like, look at this, 88% are pro Paul. We could do that. Adam V, your brother sounds cool. All right. Stream live from Buc-ee's. It's going to be like a war reporter reporting from behind enemy lines. I'm wearing like a flak jacket and a helmet, and I'm like, I'm here by the jerky wall. I almost did have a welcome to Buc-ee's sounder. Like the episode where I came back and told everybody about Buc-ee's here it is. Justin Gold. Here's me live at Buc-ee's. Me live at Buc-ee's. I don't know if we can speed it up. Oh my God, if you look up Buc-ee's in Discord's GIF, that one comes up. All right. Brent B's running a tight ship on the family truckster. Brent B, we're not stopping. We've stopped enough. I love it. CLX is saying, can someone tell me about a role introduction interview? A role introduction interview? I've never heard of that. I think, yeah, the pain. If you have a question, drop it in chat. A role introduction interview. I don't know what that is. Maybe can you who asked that question? CLX, can you elaborate a little bit more on that? I'd be happy to answer it. I just don't know. Denzel's voice, not that I know of yet, but we could do that. Where did we say we could find the Simply Cyber in-house curated news? Please, can you drop a link? Okay, yeah. So, right now, if you go to Spotify and you look, I mean, I'll drop this link, but basically, I'm calling it Today's Cyber News Fast, presented by Simply Cyber. Okay, so this is the short one. I'm going to drop a link here. All right, there's the link in chat. And basically, I'm just going to name it the day of the week and the links to the stories, okay? So you can see here, these are the links to all the stories. And I will get better at that, but right now it's very automated. Hey Jerry, working in a SOC for the last 1.5 years. Chuck Sapp, I don't know the call of interest. Speaking of Chuck Sapp, guys, if you didn't, I saw the newsletter come out today. Chuck Sapp's directly involved with the newsletter and creation, the weekly creation, the newsletter. Kimberly Can Fix It is working on revamping the newsletter, freshening it up. So if you guys want to get a weekly email that has massive value, go check that out. I don't really promote it very often, but this is what it looks like. There you go. Value from the community. No, I don't. Cyber Hamburglar, I don't know. I will tell you, CISO Series contacted me over the weekend, and they wanted to know what was going on with the podcast. So I got to have a meeting with them later this week, just kind of talk through it. Yep, Chuck Sapp, thank you. Harold says, I'm working in a SOC for the last 1.5 years. The 12-hour day and night shifts are messing with my sleep. How long would you stay in a SOC if you became an issue? Well, first of all, Harold, if it's becoming an issue, then I wouldn't work there any longer, right? I mean, if it's an issue, it's an issue, right? What I would say is if you can hold out, 2 years is kind of a magic number, all right? And I know, Harold, 6 months could be an eternity if it's really messing with you. What I would say is, I would say one of two things. Harold, if you can get to 2 years, that would be huge. Second of all, once you get to the 2 years, you could definitely peace out, because 2 years in a SOC, that's the next thing I would say is maybe talk to your management and be like, hey, can we revisit this? Maybe I have to think if you're working 12-hour shifts, though, you're only working a few days a week, right? I mean, it's not like you're working 60-hour, 70-hour weeks, I would hope. So I would talk to your management. Black Goldberg says, 0 experience with cyber, starting a cyber boot camp soon. Thoughts and advice, veteran in the sub. Any recommendations on apps for practicing CLI? CLI being command line interface. Yeah, so Black Goldberg, number one, it sounds like you already committed to the boot camp. What I would strongly encourage you to do, Black Goldberg, is find at least 2 people who have taken that boot camp already that don't work for the boot camp and ask them what their experiences was. Just make sure it's a good boot camp. Unfortunately, there's a lot of boot camps that are scams, meaning they take your money and then they give you a crap experience that doesn't really help. So do that. As far as CLI goes, yeah, just dig into Linux, man. Just get on Linux. Go through some, beginner pen testing rooms. Again, you may not be going for pen testing, but you'll get some of that muscle memory. You'll learn. But And even this, Black Goldberg, I would say do this. Like, force yourself to use Linux. Force yourself. Like, yeah, you could go faster by opening Windows and opening Chrome, but force yourself to use Linux and terminals and stuff and see how it goes. It could help. Flakinator says he loves the weekly email, gotten 2 so far and found them useful. Nice job, Jerry. Thank you, Flakinator. Also, nice job, Chuck Sapp. If you enjoy the newsletter, definitely thank @Chuck in chat right now. Chuck helps. Chuck's a lead author on the newsletter. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah. 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 Let's see. What other questions people got? Haircut Fish says, oh yeah, Haircut Fish. Love it, love it, love it. What else people got? My throat hurts, y'all. Yeah, Chuck is the brainchild behind the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Chuck is very humble, but so I will say it. Chuck in chat right there. Chuck in chat with the Fletch emote or avatar. Chuck is a wonderful person, a great Simply Cyber community member. We all benefit because Chuck is part of the community. Thank you, Chuck. Should be your daily operating system unless you need Windows support for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, it's just, here's the thing. If you force yourself into a situation, right, you will learn, right? Imagine, like, listen, if you were going to move to, like, I don't know, Japan, and you were like studying Duolingo to like learn Japanese, but you were doing a crappy job of it. Well, go to Japan, live in the culture. You can't function without being able to speak, so you will learn it, right? That's a hyper example, but you get it. All right, hey, I'm going to end the poll. Paul has beat Callum as the reporter voice. We'll try a couple more, but Paul's coming in strong. Cybercycle says, primarily been a tech. What do you think about shifting towards sales engineering? Yeah, I mean, sales engineering, Cybercycle, you can totally do that. They do need a tech hands-on keyboard person. You'll probably make a lot more money. So, I mean, go for it. Rex says, do you have one of your many videos about developing a business case for submission geared towards cybersecurity? Developing a business case for submission. Rex, a submission to what? Like, I don't know what, like, I need... Maybe, but I just need a little bit more context on what you're asking. Developing a business case for submission to what? Let's see. If a company has issues with DEI, should that be a red flag about applying at the company? So Taekwon Gong, it depends on what kind of red flags, honestly, right? Red flag is kind of subjective. So like, if they notoriously pay female staff less than males, that could be an issue. If they notoriously, like, I don't know, like if there are real, demonstrated things. But what I would say is, if it's like, okay, so again, I'm a white male in the United States, so like please take my opinion with obviously a bit bias. But I try to be as fair and objective as possible. What I will say is a lot of businesses are struggling right now financially, okay? And when you look at a business, a lot of them introduce DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion functions like in the last 5-10 years because it's become very in vogue to focus on those things, which is good. I'm not saying it's not good. But DEI does not generate revenue for the business. So when you start struggling and they look at the business and they look at the balance sheet and they say, holy crap, We missed our numbers again this quarter. We need to trim up and get lean. It's called getting lean. Where can we go? Oh, do we cut the R&D people? No, they're making product. Do we cut the sales people? No, they're driving money. What's DEI doing? Well, it's making our workforce happier. Okay, but does it generate revenue? No. See ya. And like literally, there has been multiple instances of high-profile companies basically dissolving their DEI. So I don't know if that, I wouldn't think of that as a red flag. I think of that as a business trying not to hemorrhage and go under because they're having to make tough decisions. I'm going to actually look this up right now. Ready? Now, if you're talking about a company like Uber was 10 years ago or 5 years ago where it was like super toxic, then yeah, that's a red flag all day. Let's see right here. Right here. Here's an example, right? I mean, I just Googled it. Texas University clears DE office, lays off employees in light of new state law. University of Florida eliminates all DEI-related positions. I'm not making this up. Washington Post, DEI is getting a new name. Right? Let me see. All right, so hopefully Taekwon Gong, that works for you. All right, as in submitting a business case to upper management for a perceived need, but geared toward making it for cybersecurity. So the question is, do you have a video for that? Oh, okay. So I do not have a video for that exactly, Rex. But what I would say is, I do have a couple videos in my GRC Analyst Masterclass, the Information Security Awareness module. The lab teaches you how to make content that's driven for a specific audience. What I would say is, whenever you're making a case to upper management, and like Rex, I don't know if you get the newsletter, but basically, you've got to think of who you're talking to and how they consume information. So, for example, upper management, you need to make it financially relevant. That's like the key, right? You got to talk numbers. Great cash, homie. Second of all, you need to be short and succinct, like almost bullet points, and only a few of them. There's a reason there's an executive summary in risk assessment, enterprise risk assessment reports. There's a reason executive summaries exist, because upper management isn't going to read it. They're not going to be bothered. They just want to know what, and decision. What is it? How much is it going to cost? And what is the problem if I don't do it? Right? So that's what I would say. Lead with the money. If you can, Rex, tell them how much money it's going to save them by buying whatever the solution is that you have. And upper management loves comparing themselves to other businesses in the same industry vertical and size, right? Marriott wants to know what Hilton's doing. Exxon wants to know what Mobil's doing, right? So, all right, here come the questions. The mod team is coming in hot and heavy. Thank you, mod team. Let me drop some I love mods. I know, Malware Trini. I actually feel a little embarrassed that I don't have a video for that. That it does hurt a little bit. All right, so check it out. Jaga says, I'm over 40 with 20 IT years of experience in manufacturing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was in IT 20 years ago and then went to manufacturing. I got a diploma as a network engineer, recently laid off. What should I do next? Oh, so Jaga, a couple things. I mean, if you feel comfortable as a network engineer, I mean, you could certainly find work as a network engineer. And then if you wanted to work in cyber, you could easily pivot. Right now, with your experience, I would definitely glam up your resume to highlight your IT experience and your networking experience. Jaga, you definitely need to be networking, right? Call your, go out for coffee with someone you used to work with who's, working in IT if you got one. Start the networking train ASAP. You got to get onto that. That's what I would do next. Guys, for the most part, applying to open recs is not going to work. You need basically, it will work in some instances, but for the most part, it's about networking. It's about having someone on the inside. All right, Chris Whitlock, is it true? Excuse me. Is true zero trust even really possible? Applying to critical systems, I suppose we would be the most cost-effective, huh? Yeah, so zero trust, yeah, it technically is possible. If you have single endpoint micro segmentation, you could do it, right? With cloud and DevOps, you could achieve it. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. We are applying modern solutions to legacy technology in a lot of instances. But yes, you should focus on critical systems. You should focus on internet-facing systems. And by the way, what I just said is why a lot of internal LANs don't have zero trust, because it's maybe not critical and it's not internet-facing, so it gets pushed to the back. And unfortunately, it should be part of the overall long-term strategy. But, you basically do external-facing, you do cloud-based systems, and then something else, a new shiny bauble pops up. All right. CLX. I applied for a security analyst role and received an email back about scheduling a Zoom call with 5 people. Nice. Okay, so for the role introduction, all I would say is treat it. CLX, I would treat it of the mindset. If it were me, I would treat it from the mindset as like a business meeting. Do not take like a inferior position. I don't mean get on the call and be like, all right, mother truckers, sell me on this job. What I mean is, think of it as like getting coffee. Now, the fact that there's going to be 5 people there is kind of bananas for a role introduction, but hey, look professional, show up early, be in the right mindset, get a good night's sleep, and I would be ready to tell them what type of work you're looking for, and also, CLX, how you can help a business with their cybersecurity needs. And I wish you the best. We got 330 people in chat right now. Good to see you people. Love myself some Simply Cyber community. Hashtag Team SC in chat if I don't mind. All right. Is the cybersecurity job market light? Is it good to take a step back and get into something else? So Taekwon Gong, hiring in cyber is a little difficult right now. Statistics are showing. I would say if you can, IT is a feeder system into cyber anyways. And if you get an IT job, basically you could buddy up with the cyber people and get in, right? So, yeah. Taekwon Gong, I would definitely say network. Connor's in the house. Connor wants to know, what would you do if you have the qualifications for a junior SOC position but can't find any positions in the area? I would network, Connor. I know it sounds like it's almost like I'm beating a dead horse here, but if you can't find the positions, it doesn't matter how great your resume is. You could be a tier 3 SOC analyst. If there's no positions, then there's no positions. I would look, Connor, to larger MDR solutions, Michael Delta Romeo. I would look to those other organizations. I'll give you a couple: Expel, Arctic Wolf, Rapid7, Red Canary. These are larger MDR firms. Black Hills has an active SOC. They will have SOC analyst jobs can be grindy. They can have mental health components, so they do grind through. And they love taking on entry-level people because they have standards and protocols that you just playbooks you read. Jess Bishop, I don't know if she's still in chat. She can speak to it. Right? But that's what I would say, Connor. Okay, hold on one second. We got this coming on. I do like Josh Madacor. This is coming in. This is 1 day ago. All right, this is 1 day ago, and this is Jesse Johnson's promoting this video, saying it's good. So, and I trust Jesse, so let's check this out. It's how to find an IT job with low applicants. So Taekwon Gong, we'll go there. Go check out the video. Drop a hashtag TeamSC in the comments. You can see here, I actually used to sponsor his channel just because I loved what he was doing, but then I wasn't watching this content, and he like took a little bit of a break there, so I just stopped sponsoring it. But anyways, hashtag TeamSC. All right, thank you, Jesse, for sharing. The Pain says, Friday, you mentioned your Antarctica experience. Working there is a bucket list item for me. What programming language system certs would be most useful for applying for those jobs? I mean, honestly, like system administration. Here, check this out. Watch this. I think Raytheon had the contract last time. Right here. All right, hold on, that ain't gonna work. Watch this. Watch this. Hello. So I'm on LinkedIn right now. Yeah, I think Raytheon currently has the contract. What I would recommend, Associate Director Cyber Engineering. Hold on one second. This isn't the right one. I'll have to find out. I still have friends who work for that contract. I'll find out who owns the contract. They basically award, like, without getting wicked nerdy about the way federal contracts work, the NSF likes to award 5-year contracts for the Antarctic program, and they switch it every 5 years. So Lockheed Martin had it, then Raytheon had it. I don't know who has it now, but all the people who work there just switch companies. It's like standard. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Antarctic support contract seeks qualified job applicants. Lockheed Martin. Nailed it. All right, here we go. Doink. Doink. Here we go. We're all going to go to Antarctica. All right. You'll have to, here, I'll drop this link in chat. You have to do a little bit of your own research, obviously, but believe me when I tell you, this is a thing. And I think Lockheed may have lost the contract. So, here, I can really quickly tell you who has the contract right now, because I'll just look up the people who still work there and see what company they work for. I just don't want to do it on stream. Oh, okay. Looks like Leidos owns it now. Let me just confirm that really quickly. Stand by. Stand by to stand by. Let me see if this is it. Sorry, I hate when you guys watch me do stuff on stream, but believe me, like, this is, if you want to work in Antarctica, just give me a hot minute. All right, it's gonna take a minute. Yeah, so it looks like Leidos won it. Again, not getting too nerdy here, but Leidos won the contract, it looks like. So you'd have to find jobs with Leidos. And they won the contract 7 years ago. So typically they don't renew it for 5 years, but you will need to be a US citizen, obviously drug screen, employment background, etc. if you really want, you can go YOLO and like live down there for winter over. All right, so this is the Lido stuff. All right, fun conversation. Thanks for letting me revisit that. You can easily get to Antarctica, guys. It's not that hard. All right, looking at chat here. What hands-on labs are recommended for someone that wants to take CompTIA Sec Plus? Low, or LOLOLOLA. Allow me to introduce myself. This is Slay Security Plus right here. This is Jesse Johnson, a beautiful baby Jesse Johnson. He has guests, and every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time live, they're going through Security Plus and answering questions, getting hands-on, networking. You'll love it. I promise. Go check it out this Thursday if you can. Obviously, you can watch the replays, but the live is where it's at. It's so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
All right. Couple more minutes. All right. If you have the CompTIA trifecta, which is A+, Net+, Sec+, what certs would you go for? Note that in this hypothetical situation, you're interested in the cyber SOC job, but you can't find any in your area. All right. So I know. So couple. All right. So this is the certification roadmap. This is the blue, right? This is where you're talking about living. This is more junior level down here. This is senior level up here. CYSA Plus is a pretty popular one. There isn't necessarily a specific SOC job cert that's like standard, but I would look at CYSA Plus. I would also look at the following. Security Blue Team's level 1 certification. I'm not affiliated with them, but I do think that this is a good one to get. I've heard good things about it. All right. So, hey, Jesse Johnson also is sharing this right here. This is for LOLOLOA here. Sec Plus Labs. Go check that out. My throat's hurting, y'all. All right, so who thinks Gerald should do a 2-hour AMA stream? Oh my gosh. No, I got work to do. I got to automate the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing a little bit more. I had a talk. I mean, if you guys want to talk shop, I had a call with Greenfield Community College out of Massachusetts last week, and they're hot for Cyber 101. So they're actually trying to get some grant money, and they're going to buy a big license. So that's good for making donuts over here. Yeah, so I mean, Rex, personally, I always say, like, get the A+ and Net+ knowledge. You don't necessarily need the cert. I've heard that A+ is good for help desk job, but honestly, I feel like help desk jobs are true entry level. Like, you can train anyone up to do the help desk stuff. A lot of things are documented. James McQuiggan.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
With a super chat. Thanks, James. Greetings from Southampton, UK. About to set sail on a 9-day cruise. Don't worry. I have all the dad jokes for Friday. Let's see whose OSINT is strong and knows what country I will be in. Gin Martini, cheers. Enjoy that, James McQuiggan. You and Eileen deserve it. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, always zooming in, dropping in. All right, hey, Casually Joseph, who is an active practitioner, has dropped the following into chat. I mean, this is like a spam. I can't even drop all these. All right, here we go. We're gonna go speed round. Ready? Let's defend. Good stuff. I like them. There's actually a Simply Cyber code. I forget what it is, but it looks like you can use May 20 for the 20%. Simply Cyber has a code. I forget what it is. Hack the box. They've got defensive stuff now. Yummy. Hack the box. I guess. More yummies. Blue Team Labs Online. This is what I was just telling you guys about. I think Blue Team Labs Online is... oh, no. I said security. Blue Team. Blue Team Labs Online is pretty good. Pretty good. They actually have real scenarios. This one's going to give you practical skills, which is pretty cool. And then try Hack Me SOC Level 1 Path. All about good times. Let's go. Thank you, James. Thank you, Casually Joseph. CJ. Cash. Maybe start calling him Cash. Ow. Jesus, I just poked myself in the eye with the glasses. Maybe call Casually Joseph Cashmere. Huh? Little Cashmere. Little that good life. All right. Guys, we're a couple minutes over here. James McQuicken at sea level. Joel Harrison, very good. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go. Got to,
Catch me outside. How about that?
Gonna have a little bit of a snack, and then I'm gonna get to grinding, get to working. It's been fun. So we'll keep rolling on the Simply Cyber, the new AI stuff. Any feedback, obviously, please drop it on Discord. And we will continue to make it as valuable as we can. Guys, the whole thing is this is a community. I am a member of the community as well as, very proud to say I'm, one of the leaders in the community. The mod team is amazing. But it's going to be that time, guys. So thank you. Thank you, Hemoglobin. Glad we've been coming at you from the TV. Kimberly from the couch. Good to have you back. Jenny Housley. Great to have you back. Mod teams. Love it, guys. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Not a deep fake. Come on. Are you serious? Yeah, we've got a huge Discord server. 16,000 people. All right, guys. Space Tacos, be good. Remember, we're going to do the coloring contest in the month of June. I've been thinking about it. It's going to be good. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Welcome to Buc-ee's. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Peace. Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning.